Hi. It has been a hot minute and I'm so sorry. I did not intentionally just kind of drop off the face of the planet. We are all well. We are all fine. But I am so glad that today is 2025 and we'll just start with that big bang. First of all, thank you so much for those that have reached out and tried to see if we're doing okay and all of that. I genuinely did not mean to just kind of leave everything like I did. And we'll kind of talk a little bit about that video. I'm going to have a little sit down chat. I'm going to be filming, kind of doing some things today. One of the things that I love to do on New Year's is just start the year fresh. I love fresh starts, or whatever you want to call them. So Mondays are fantastic. First of the months are always fantastic, and the first of the year, first of the weeks, all of that is just fantastic. And it just gets me energized to kind of get things going in the right direction. So without further ado, let's kind of explain all the stuff that's been going on. So very first of all, when everything kind of just dropped off, my work schedule had increased so much that I was working almost 50 hours a week. So I have a every 2-week paycheck, and I only got 99 hours. I mean, I was like, boss, at 1 hour more, and I could have, bragged that I worked 100 hours in 2 weeks. Apparently their system will not let them do that. But there's a lot of us that are just working nights as well as days. There's some clients that we have to all kind of fill in for. There's so much going on with that, and I don't really want to kind of get into work. Let's kind of keep that a little separate. But it does play into my day-to-day life. So working up to 50 hours a week, I'm going to call it up to 50, and then coming home and trying to manage the home. I still work at being a full-time housewife and mother. That I consider is my absolute number one first job. And I work really, really hard to make that a priority insofar as possible. But I'll be real, it is very, very, very hard to balance being a mom and being a full-time working mom. My banana bread is done, so hold that thought. And I'm not gonna edit that out because that is exactly why YouTube took last place. Putting all of my effort into doing what I could here, house, just meant YouTube had to go. And I did not mean to just drop it off, but I just could not find any time. Filming is the easiest part. Editing is much longer, much harder, and when you work nights and day shifts, sometimes back to back, the last thing I wanted to do was try to use what time I had to be on a computer. So inevitably it was supposed to be just a break, and that break ended up extending to however many months it took for me to finally film this video. So that was pretty much what happened leading up into this. And then a couple weeks ago, the main client that I had like 32 hours a week with, she is on hold for us because she's in the hospital, which then freed up my time so much. And this is like a week and a half before Christmas. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a Christmas message for everybody. And I could not find my camera. I could not find the filming camera. My mom was so amazing. And if you all remember some of my older videos, I kept saying, I have no idea what you're seeing because my camera is dying. And my mom messaged and said, okay, let's get you a camera, because she's amazing that way. Everybody needs a mom like my mom. And so we ended up discussing like what kind of camera we want. Well, I wanted one that a couple of my daughters could use because they wanted to learn how to take good photos. They were thinking about doing what they could to become photographers. And I said, why don't we get this instead of just a video camera? Why don't we get a camera that can double up as my vlogging camera, as well as settings that the kids can learn how to use so that they could take professional photos. And so that's where the camera ended up. After searching for so many weeks, today I had this brilliant idea of like, okay, whoever finds my camera gets a Starbucks. And within an hour we found it. As the weeks we've all been looking for it, I guess it was that motivation that needed it, and it ended up being in my daughter's room. You know, the ones that were going to practice and said they had no idea where it was. Those daughters. So here we are. That's kind of how we ended up to this point. Okay, kind of going forward into 2025, what's been going on? So not only has work been crazy, you would think that with all of this work, things would just go much better for us financially, but it hasn't necessarily been the case. We've, with so much work and time and things like that, I just kind of fell off the bandwagon with living frugally. And it was definitely one of those things that I think really kind of opened my eyes, never having worked in the workforce and saying, well, you just need to do this, 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 and this. You know, it can definitely translate over from stay-at-home mom to working mom. Like, it's interchangeable. You just got to learn to plan it a little bit better. Well, I obviously wasn't taking my own advice, but I also learned that with all of the things that we have to do and process, and I'm still homeschooling, that there comes a point where something has to give. There is a cost in me going to work as much as me earning money. And that cost was I could not balance and have all of the plates spinning. And so the frugality was still there. It just wasn't a top priority. Whereas when you're a home wife, that is part of your job description, and you have more time to devote to that because you're not spreading yourself out in other ways. So it was definitely a good learning thing, and I don't know how it will translate in trying to work this side of the channel. But with everything that I do with the channel, it's like, take what you can use and throw away the rest. You know, my sharing on here isn't that you need to live the exact lifestyle that I am following these 10-step methods. It is take what you can use and throw away the rest, and let's learn how to do things in this way, because this used to be more of a daily concept, a life skill that we've kind of lost in the realm of credit cards and easy money and just the grandma skills of yesteryear have kind of faded away, and our style of living has definitely changed than what it was. Well, and then trying to go back to, okay, well, obviously we cannot live in a way that exceeds our income, but also thinking about life in general. Yes, just because you have the money doesn't mean you need to spend it, and it's okay to live, you know, in a lower class, and still end up enjoying life day to day and all of that. So that was the whole mindset I had, kind of wrapping this year up with like, okay, you know, things didn't go out this way that I wanted it to, but we had all this and we have all that. And then we're going to start 2025 out with planning for a move. Another reason why I have tried to figure out how to make this video. In a nutshell, Michigan is not working out for us. Just financial is a big part of it. You know, when I was doing Vlogust, one of the questions was, what are some of the things that you love about where you live? And I tried to film that video so many times, but it ended up being like a commercial to live here rather than personal reasons why I loved living here. And there are things about this place that I love. One of them is I love to hear the trains at night. And my son's like the foghorns, and yeah, the foghorns and the trains. I love hearing those sounds. I don't live right next to the train stations, but I'm about or railroads, but I'm about a half a mile in multiple directions from a train crossing, and I get to hear it, and it echoes kind of across the area over here, and it's a beautiful sound. I think it is. And the lake is gorgeous, but I work so much to live here that as much as we got to go to the lake, we didn't really get to go as much as we wanted. I was always working. And those were kind of the only things that we we're like, yeah, that's about it that we like about this place. It's very big in the sense that you travel a ways to get to where you want and for one town. Now, when we were in Indiana, yeah, that was kind of the same way, but there was a different aspect of where we didn't have to. You can go shopping once a week and then stay home. Whereas here, you know, I have to travel for work. I have to travel for just daily life, and it added up. So, with that being said, my husband did end up taking a job as a pastor back in Indiana, back where we were, as an assistant pastor. And so we're going to move back. I think in the long run, it's going to be better for all of us. And we're kind of looking forward to that. But it means moving again. We did not move December 1st. I'm very thankful for that. We're going to be moving again. We need to plan on going back out to California this year. I have a sister getting married, as well as my husband's parents are going to be celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary, and so we want to be there for that. And that kind of coincides with their anniversary and my sister's wedding around the same time. So we're kind of hoping we can do a party around the same time as the sister's wedding for that. It'll also be cooler, which is really good in my town because it's really hot. So we gotta financially plan for that, and just those two alone, moving and wedding, and then having to purchase another place to live. And that's another reason why I haven't been able to make any videos lately, just all of that. So with all of that being said, some of the things that I wanted to start out this year with, there's the Three Rivers Challenge that happens every year. And one of the reasons I really like that challenge is it kind of gets you into some of the things that you may have had on your shelves for a while. I do not do any preserving. I do not have any land to do that. Nothing. And I couldn't do a lot of the food pantry hauls because that was always during the time when I worked. And so, but I do have stuff that I have accumulated, and now with the thought of moving, it's kind of like, okay, we need to think about packing things up, using things up, and then getting to a point where it'll be easier to move. And then again, we can start saving money to put aside, and then we'll slowly build up our pantry again. So that's going to be happening this month. I have some plans for that. I would like to get the Facebook page going back up. I've seriously dropped the ball on, I just dropped the ball on everything. Once work became that much, I couldn't juggle everything. And to be honest, there was kind of a time there where I just didn't want another thing to think about. I could not get myself into the right mood for anything, and so the videos would not have been a good quality video anyway. So yay on that. But Christmas was wonderful. We did a homemade Christmas, and we even made like reusable gift bags. My daughter and I did, and that was so much fun. That really just kind of set everything up for Christmas for me, just having time to create and sew and be with my family while we were doing that. That really, really lifted my spirits. And fantastic. Okay, I know it's been at least 12 minutes because the timer just went off. Anyway, so I got to make Christmas bags. We made a couple Christmas pajamas as gifts. My 8-year-old drew. So for Christmas, we draw names. We do one gift as family and just keep it very simple. And that way, if somebody is hand making anything, that they have the time to do that and all of that. So my 8-year-old drew my 16-year-old son, and he wanted to make him pajama pants because that's what my son loves to live in, is nice flannel pajama pants. And he's growing like a weed. So the 8-year-old learned how to sew pajama pants. And while we were doing that, my daughter was like, oh man, I really love pajama pants. I wish I wish we had time to make me some. So I stayed up until 4 a.m. Christmas morning making her a pair of pajama pants because I drew her name. So that worked out really great. And then there was leftover, and in all of the sewing, my husband was like, oh man, yeah, I really miss, the flannel shorts he used to make. And I was like, well, there's enough here. I'm just going to whip up a pair of flannel shorts for you too. So we kind of got to do all of that sewing. There were some crochet things made. Let's see, what else did we do? My little girl, 11-year-old drew the 8-year-old boy, and she made him like a little mask, a little dragon mask. And then we found some black pants and a black top. And so now he can play How to Train Your Dragon. I do not know the dragon's name, but that was her gift. I mean, it was just a lot of creativity and a lot of fun. So, I think all this other stuff was store-bought. Like my 16-year-old son drew the 11-year-old daughter, and she wanted these bunny slippers that we saw at Walmart. And so we got her those. And the 12-year-old boy found like this sword, and he wanted to like learn how to do all these sword fencing like what you see in Princess Bride, and so that's what he got. So it was a lot of fun. Oh, and my daughter was absolutely amazing. My 16-year-old daughter drew me, and she knows how much I love lemon meringues, and so she took the time, failed the first batch, and made another batch of lemon meringues for me, and that was fantastic. And then she gave me like a little wallet to match my purse, and inside there was like a gas gift card, a grocery gift card, and a coffee gift card. So it was a wonderful Christmas, much fun. A lot of just being together with the family, playing games, laughing at Christmas movies that we love to watch, and just kind of a time to take a breather. So that was fantastic. And now we're at the new year. My husband is working this morning because that's, the life of a contractor. You've got deadlines to meet, and so that's where he is. And I'm trying to use up a lot of bananas that I have, and we're making banana bread left and right and kind of filling the freezer up. And then in all of this, I'm kind of taking inventory, which will be the next video you see, of like what's in my fridge. Well, I think the way I want to do it is as I make each meal, you're going to see the ingredients I pull out of my fridge and freezer, pantry, whatever, to make those. And then we'll talk about grocery shoppings and whatever. So that's going to be forthcoming. I would love to hear some of the highlights of 2024 in the comments below. Share something that was great for you all, how you all are doing. Thank you so much. And I'll see you on the next one.